guys. So I got called out and I'm making a video now. um, those who know will comment below, but yeah, sorry it's been a bit. I was just finishing out the summer trying to spend some time with my boys. We've spent a lot of time going around in parts of nature around here in the Twin Cities and cleaning up trash. I've been bringing my sons with to kind of teach them a little bit about taking care of our planet and hopefully kind of instilling those values in them. And plus, they get to romp around in creeks and play with the trucks and, have a grand old time. But so we've been doing a lot of that this summer. They just started school, and my youngest just started kindergarten. So now I have all this time to myself, which is just so odd. And I've been taking some more classes and looking to get into digital illustration. I'm hoping to build my portfolio. So I am going to be spending a lot of time working on that. Also, I do still have a household to run, but I will also be dedicating more time to my channel here. So you will see more of my face. I do have a pretty busy month for the rest of September, but I'm hoping to be able to be pumping out more content as I do have some time during the day. And yeah, I was just really kind of waiting for summer to close out and all that. Right, into the topic for tonight. Tonight we are going to talk about working with animal parts. So bones, hides, what have you. Um, there's going to be some caveats and some preferences, and then a suggestion for a fantastic book to read on the topic, which I have talked about a lot on my channel. This is probably my favorite witchy book ever, um, which is really saying something, but um, so I'm gonna first show you guys just a little bit of some of the things that I have and what I've been working with, how I work with them, and then sort of giving some advice on how to go about animal parts, how to be ethical about it, and all that stuff. So, first things first, I have this really cool antler piece. This I actually bought at a local shop here in the Minneapolis area, and the shop is called 12 Vultures. So I will actually put the link to them down below. The owner is amazing. He's super nice and he is very informative. He's very ethical. He's fantastic. So I love to go and support him every now and then. He's really cool. But this I actually first got around Yule. So I was kind of trying to like bring in that stag energy that comes about during Yule. Now I tend to keep it right next to Hell and Fenrir, which Fenrir is a whole nother topic I need to talk about. Anyway, so this is another piece that I got. This is actually a crow's foot. I am very connected to crows and ravens. I actually have a big old tattoo right here of a raven. And this was from an Etsy shop, which I can actually put the link down below. But it was also ethically sourced. I'm really cautious about that stuff. So everything you see here is ethically sourced. So I am not about harming animals for their parts and stuff. It's not something I'm okay with at all. This is a smaller antler piece that a good friend of mine gave me. I actually keep it next to Hell because he's also a Hell follower, so it just makes sense. Plus, as soon as I got it, she's like, "Hey, girl, that's mine." I was like, "Okay." um, this is another bone that I actually found in a lake, like along the shore. Um, and it was just kind of hanging out there. So I took it back and I cleaned it. I will give you guys some tips on how to clean these and how to make sure to protect yourselves from picking up bones. And, you need to be cautious and cleanly. So that's another thing that I will share a little bit. And then this is another one that I found recently when I was actually over by the river. I went down there to clean up some trash and I happened to turn and almost stepped on it, which was really funny because I didn't see it before. So it's a piece of a rib. And then I have these right here, which are insect wings. So this one I keep Come on, don't focus on my face. There we go. I keep with Santa Morte. In fact, this I just randomly found on the ground one day, and it was a very obvious, like, hey girl, look at me. um, and this was all happening when she was kind of culminating in my practice, and it was before I kind of realized that it was her, and so it sits with her now because I know that it's from her. And then this one I found on a hike. It's a moth wing, and even insects, like, I don't harm them. This is all stuff that has been naturally shed that I just find. Um, this one I keep by Hell because I associate moths with her. So then this is a roe deer skull that I actually got 12 Vultures, the shop that I had mentioned, and then I painted it. So I'm planning on using it for a headpiece, a ritual headpiece, but this is just kind of the start. So I don't break things because we all know I am not a graceful individual. I also have, you can purchase on Etsy various bones for like crafting and stuff. So I was going to share a little bit of what I had been working on there. I for my ritual piece, and yes, once again, this is a um, shop that I supported that is ethically sourced. Um, so this is something that I've also been working on. As you can see, there are some bones that are wrapped in some beads. The beads are actually from the website Grimfrost, which these are beads that were modeled after a Viking excavation, which I thought was really cool because it kind of has that historical element to it. And then this is a crow feather. I do want to at least give a little bit of caveat with collecting feathers, guys. There are lots of species of birds, specifically raptor birds, that you cannot keep their feathers. It is illegal. So please be mindful of the laws of that, and please be mindful of the laws in your state. And let's see, I had bought a little mixed bag of bones from Etsy, and it mostly was just like, let's see, is that these little ones that I plan on using for like witches' ladders, and much like I was making there, but that's actually for a ritual headpiece that I've been working on. And that's kind of cool because then you can support smaller businesses. But this one is one that I found on my own. It's just, again, this was floating in a creek. And I was like, oh, sweet. Sometimes it really does feel like it started to kind of feel like gifts from the gods. And it's interesting because I just find them in really weird, coincidental ways. And when you've been on this path as long as I have, you've really stopped believing in coincidences. So the other things I'm going to share are some hides that I do have 3 rabbit furs. Again, all ethically sourced. I'll put the links to all the shops down below. Um, this is from 12 Vultures. This is a deer hide. And most of the time I use these for altar cloths. I do have one which I neglected to grab that actually has Yggdrasil painted on this part here, and I use that as a rune casting cloth, which was painted by an amazing artist, and I will also put her link down below, um, as well as 12 Vultures, of course. I'll set that there. And then this is my big boy. This is a coyote hide. This is from Moscow Fur and Hide, which is based out of Moscow, Idaho. I would highly recommend them. They, again, are ethically sourced. So, yeah, he is gorgeous. Now, I'm going to kind of get into some of the practices that you can use and some of the caveats. One of them I mentioned about feathers, so that is something that you guys really need to be mindful of. Again, look up the laws. Um, when you are when you find bones in the woods, for say, you have to remember that that is connected to a soul. At least That is how I've always looked at it. So when you are working with these pieces, it is, I think personally, this is how I would go about it. I do want to preference that because I don't want to tell anybody how to do their practice. But this is, I've always been really mindful of the spirit that was connected to that animal. And in my practice, when I work with the dead a lot, and that's not just my beloved dead or my ancestors, but these animals that have passed, that have given their bones to my spiritual practice, that requires some gratitude. And I really think that it's very important to take some time to sit with the spirit of the animal and connect with it and welcome it into your practice and explain what you plan on doing with these things. And most of the time, as I've explained, most of mine have been devotional pieces to my deities. My coyote is more of a spiritual companion through ritual, and um, some of them, again, as I said, have been like all through devotional pieces too. So, myself to blooper reels because we don't need them. We don't need them here at the Shadow Moon Witch. We just are authentic and weird. um, but now I kind of want to get into a little bit of like the practical stuff. When you are picking up bones and working with parts of an animal, there are diseases, there are things that you need to be mindful of and proper cleansing techniques. If you find feathers that you can actually use, you can use turkey feathers. I know those are one of the ones that's okay. I know crow feathers are okay. What you should do, one of the methods that I've been using is I will actually take them and put them in a Ziploc bag and then put them in the freezer for about 48 hours. And that kind of gets rid of like any mites or any like teeny tiny little creepy crawlies that could be on them. And then you do a half alcohol, half hydrogen peroxide bath with just a little bit of warm water. Swish them around a little bit, gently clean them because they're very fragile. And then you can gently hair dry them on a low setting. I would not set them in the sun. The sun is an awesome natural disinfectant, but not for feathers because it will bleach them. The bones, on the other hand, you can set bones in the sun and it does help. But the biggest thing that I would recommend is hydrogen peroxide bath. And you can actually see, sometimes you're going to have to soak it for a few days, sometimes a week. It just depends. I have one bone outside that is really stubborn. So, um, and what I did is I actually went to Sally's Beauty Supply and I got a big jug of 40 volume hair developer because it's hydrogen peroxide, but it's a stronger strength of it. And I mixed that with hot water just to activate it. And this is the result. This had green algae on it, so just pretty gnarly. Always wash your hands like after handling these before you've cleaned them properly. That is something that's really important, of course. Like keep your hands clean, make sure you don't get any diseases. Um, but yeah, that this is my best method for whitening bones. And then you can just rinse them off with some Dawn, like Blue Dawn in warm water, and then just gently dry them. Sometimes after I have soaked them in the hair developer, I have just taken a quick like swipe of alcohol as well. And let's see. The other thing that I'm going to recommend is this is the book that I'm going to recommend. Again, this is probably my favorite witchy book, but she has so much fantastic information on working with bones, and substitutes for the more like fleshy bits. Because I'm not really one for that. I'm squeamish. It's actually really amazing. I have this crow foot, but like it's not squishy. So, but so she has like you can use slices of fruit for like animal tongues and things like that. Like the thing is that I'm not here for harming animals. And neither is she. So she has a lot of fantastic resources in here on how to properly care for things, how to properly honor the animal, ideas that you can use this stuff in spell work. I'm actually working on one right now that has a wolf tooth necklace. Again, something that I got ethically sourced. Um, but I cannot recommend this book enough. She also has a list on in the back of suggested sites that you can purchase ethically sourced bones and hides, things like that. So this has been something that I have really dived into, especially over the summer in my practice. And it's interesting because I start finding bones and then all of a sudden they just start popping up. And I know for the most part it's probably hell going, hey girl, what's up? But so that's why I tend to give a lot of them to her. But to me, animal magic is just, it's such a primal thing to connect to. And I've really been working a lot with the animal energy over the summer, and I have really connected with the animals that I identify with spiritually, and it's been a very rewarding practice for me. But it does, like I said, it does come with a lot of stuff that you need to navigate when it comes to being safe and making sure that you are cleansing or cleaning properly and a bit like obeying certain laws, because there are certain laws obviously there to protect animals, and that is something that is deeply important to me. So I wanted to really stress that in this video because I know that this can be a little bit of a hot topic, I guess. So funny because every single time I say that phrase, I always think of the store Hot Topic. But I just dated myself. Hi, I'm a millennial. um, but again, there's a lot of fantastic resources here, and it's becoming more and more common. And I think this is actually one of the books that sort of like demystified it a little bit, and that's something that I just greatly appreciated because I was always wanting to work with animal parts in this way, and I was apprehensive to do so until I read Of Blood and Bones. Knocking myself on the desk. um, and then that kind of helped me go at it in a way that I needed to know that I was still being kind and respectful and careful and safe, but that I could still do this in a very spiritually fulfilling way. So that's what I got for you guys tonight. You will be seeing more videos of me because now I finally have a little bit more time. Actually, more time than I am. It's an adjustment. Um, but I hope you guys loved this chat tonight about talking about working with animal parts and bones and all that comes with that. Yeah. Thank you for watching, guys. And as always, blessed be.